Express on Mainland 98.3 FM.
Welcome on board the Morning Express.
Good morning.
Welcome on board indeed to the Morning Express on Mainland 98.3 FM, the sound of Lagos. My name is Sage Babalola. Welcome to this beautiful new day, 17 September 2025. The month seems to have the best of discourse on this platform, and we're so well poised to deliver on what you want is entertainment and music. We have programs for that. And if you just want to talk about family matters, love and life and everything there is, we also have programs on this platform. But let's focus on what's happening this morning. Welcome to Trends in the Papers on Mainland 98.3 FM. This is what we do every morning from 7:40 all the way to 8:30. We spend about 45-50 minutes talking about the stories that have been reported on the front covers of our newspapers. And not only do we tell you what these reports say, we back it up with a little bit of analysis. We expect a particular story, no matter how complex it is. We also have a segment that we use to take feedback. Now, after we reel out these stories, after we analyze them and give you an insight into these bulky stories, when we summarize them, we also give you another 45 to 50 minutes where you can. So that's just a rundown of what to expect to where we're currently streaming the program. For those of you who cannot listen via your radio, we have social media available. Because you have access to the internet, you can stay connected with us. So follow us across our social media platforms on Facebook, on Instagram, and on YouTube at Mainland 98.3 FM, and on X at Mainland FM. But for now, follow us or align with us on social media, on our streaming platform, Facebook and YouTube especially, so that you can be a part of the program. And if you cannot interact with those who had commented in real time, so the conversation never stops. Fuad Said is on the line now, and we're about to start the conversation proper. Fuad, good morning to you, newspaper and Vanguard newspaper. So we'll start conversations with the Punch, and we would open today's discuss with the return of the president. He left September 4th, and he came back like a few hours ago. But the report came that this might not be unrelated to the situation in River State and the possible reinstatement. Is back. He cut short his trip, according to the paper.
The dates of return day trip. He left on the 4th. He's back on the 14th. It was really about hope. The presidency has to be a bit more transparent with us. It's not just right, whether you like it or not. We are not, again, qualified enough to begin to question the journalism of the movement of the president and not be specific as to when he's returning to the country. The president is not even clear as to his movement. You know, there are no machinery of the president. Sometimes is shrouded in secrecy. There are people you don't have it. He's no longer a private citizen. He's a public servant. And the trip in itself is being funded by public funds. That becomes a matter that will now be hiding. Nobody knows. But again, and also why the president is legally suspended by national broadcast. That we are listening with political intent and glorifying reality in itself. The broadcast, wherever he is, truly with the legality and continues to put in our history books. So, but again, a lot of work that needs to be done. And we hope that he has enough strength now to focus on this job and deliver the...
According to the presidential statement, I guess we'll field in Lagos, I believe, but 4 is sort of but it wasn't a very pleasant. It aided in rescuing those who were in that particularly injured, others as they could.
Well, social media has got some advantage over conventional media.
Yeah.
Videos, pushing out videos. But the commentary, with their smartphones are just able to put out, you understand? Now about 5 people have been killed and passed out because they inhaled smoke. The protocols. Then safety drills too. Yeah. Lagos State Fire Service, the Lagos State Safety Commission now has a job. I think the Lagos State Fire Service, they pay that. I think it has to be about the safety of the people of Lagos and about public service. Can we really say that I was at the U.S. Embassy just for a normal visit or drill? And I was like, what are they? We're told, the Nigerian staff, the foreign staff, everybody were told, and they were communicating. And basically what they were doing was to say that, look, if somebody had come into that building with a bomb, these are the things you are supposed to do. Anticipation, planning ahead, people who are proactive, who think ahead of these things. We have a lot of buildings in this Lagos. See, some of them, their elevators are not working properly. Some of Vata, where the Vata was kept, was where the fire started. And then you could see that, look, there was really no safe watching again, making content out of the whole situation. There was even a man that was going to jump through the window. They said, horrible, horrible, horrible. See. And that was a period of panic, really, where the Lagos State Safety Commission, the Lagos State Fire Service, to now begin to look at these buildings, especially the multi-level buildings, the high-rises in Lagos, even the government offices too. All of those buildings in Alausa, even in our public buildings, for example, our shopping malls.
Yeah.
We are in an era of insecurity. Suppose somebody comes in, for example, with a bomb or something. How do we evacuate people? What are the safety drills? Do we have those things? Do we have those things, Sage? Are you sure we have anything like so? Or we got to have to, at least let's start in Lagos.
Right.
Cities like Abuja too should begin to think about things like that.
Right. A lot of people do that.
Little
If fire
things like
starts
that, yeah.
and then they throw plain water on the fire, you can actually escalate the situation by throwing plain.
You'll be surprised that, look, yes, there are buildings with fire extinguisher, but the security personnel and
They
people
don't know
around
how
don't
to
even know how
use
to
it.
deploy it.
Yeah, they don't know how to use the fire extinguisher.
There are also questions as to where do you get enough if a fire incident was going to start from a building situation. It was almost chaotic yesterday, and the attempt to rescue people was going to kill those professionals to look into, and the government of Lagos and other parts of the country too.
Indeed. Well, we're very glad that nobody died, and our heart goes out to all four who are currently battling for their life. We hope that the injuries can be managed and they recover, and all those who were resuscitated.
And trauma experts
as well.
too. Do we have trauma experts?
Of course. I
to
mean,
deal with trauma like this?
Most organizations actually organize psych eval for every, or even if you shoot someone, they do a psych eval to analyze how you've been affected or impacted.
You think we have it here?
Well, it's supposed to happen. I know that I know that idealism and realism are two very different concepts, but ideally that is.
Do we have it here? Do you think we have it here?
I have no idea. I don't even operate within the security agency, but that's what's supposed to happen back into duty. That's what's supposed to happen. But I don't know. I have no idea if that actually happened.
You are speaking English this morning.
No vex. No vex. I'm so
how I wish you know what was already my mind.
No vex. Sorry about that. Sorry about that. Sorry. I'm just saying. But as one who's currently on the live stream at Milan 98.3 FM, this is Trends in the Papers. I'm Sage Babalola, and I'm talking with Fᴜᴜ as we analyze the Punch newspaper. Let's just commander of the indigenous people of Biafra and its armed wing, the Eastern Security Network, identified as Jᴏɪᴜ S쏘Ɂ, popularly known as Gentle de Yahoo. Okorienta was, I'll go there, but let's get through the report first. Was captured in his hideout at Akwa-Ibom, Okigwe local government area of Imo State during a joint operation conducted by troops of the 34th Artillery Brigade in collaboration with other security agencies. Some of the items that were recovered: an English pistol, 120 rounds of 7.62mm special ammunition, 25 rounds of 7.62mm NATO, a cartridge, 6 mobile phones, military and police uniforms, as well as a German flag. Neutralized 8 fighters of the Islamic State of West Africa province in Borno State. Several others with gunshot wounds were arrested. And according to the statement, in the early hours of Monday, they laid an ambush and 8 ISWAP fighters were neutralized, including 2 Monziers and 1 Kate, the statement said. And I delivered that the IPOB commander, that's Gentle de Yahoo, was killed. That's what social media, right? And the report actually goes further to talk about some of the commentary turned this whole thing into a regional debate. Mind you, this individual that was captured shows range. 3 boys were killed, and their death would forever be on social media. Their family would always random debate on the operation of security agencies across region. And
it's a very good one if he was captured. I like the part of capture because it's easy for him.
It's for him to get away.
I like the idea of capture. So he needs to see, the things he has done. Help now. Sometimes your English can
people that know you that used to do you. How am I supposed to translate it?
So, but again, if he was captured, we say kudos to both situation, murdering young boys. They were begging for their lives. And so this is a criminal, a complete animal, if you ask me. You understand? So we'll be waiting. There's a way you will now realize that he's a nobody, just completely useless as a human being. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yeah.
When he realizes that he's actually a nobody, he's just a common criminal, who is only pretending to be fighting for the rights. How do you fight for people and you kill them? The same people you say you are fighting for, you're killing them. If you understand what I'm saying.
Yes.
So, again, lie.
Right.
And then for people who have turned this to a tribal debate, you see, that's the reason why we seem not to understand how to even run and build this nation. When we are one-sided, which is insecurity. Terrorists are terrorists no matter who they are, where they are, and their tribe. And they should be treated in the same way. They're saying it in different parts of the country. I'm still waiting for the military.
We'll talk about
going
that.
to court.
We'll talk.
The police too. Because just about 2 days or 3 days ago, we saw wanted criminals. And so they came out, some of them even came out wearing military fatigue. Sage, if I put military cap on my head and they will beat me like, you understand? Not this is it. These criminals who are being wanted, who are people sat down with their guns and magazines, and where are they now? They've gone back to the bush again to start terrorizing people. Sage. So you cannot completely also bring...
A few minutes after that peace meeting, they did abduct about 40 people.
The thing broke down. You see. So how did those guys come out from wherever they are, got into the community, and went back like that? Because we've not out of any... One of them, I've forgotten the name of one of them. It was one of the people that even coordinated one of the mass killings. He's not even a Tʶᴇ guy. Okay. There are so many of them. But there was one that was wearing a military cap like this, who sat down with one AK-47 with several magazines all around his neck. They said he's like number 3. So sometimes you probably have to look at also the issue of balancing. Do we have a balanced response to the issue of insecurity across the country? But that is not to ethnicize and turn it to. It's not a tribal matter. These are criminals. These are despicable elements that should not even be tolerated. Under artists, the fact that people can no longer travel home, businesses are not running as they used to run because some they call him Gentle Yahoo. Look at even the name. Look at how useless the name is. The one in Finland, they call her the Epa one. That one, they thrown him into jail for us there. You can't say you are fighting for a people and then you suddenly begin to kill them. You turn your weapons against the same people you say you are fighting for. And you cannot even bring insurgency in the name of freedom, in the name of fighting for equity, fairness, and justice. We cannot burn down the nation because we'll continue with fairness and justice. I think it's a national thing alone. In our different states, how much of equity, fairness, and justice do we even practice? Even the local governments burn down the country and begin to arm youth and begin to turn youth against the state. But the police, so I think they have to come and explain, and the DSS themselves too, how those criminals came out in Katsina State and went back without any arrest.
The question is important, but for that particular report that a person who murdered 3 boys on camera has been supposed to be a problem is a report. These are 2 separate. Exactly, came out for a peace meeting. These are 2 on video shot 3 boys and was bold enough to put that video on social media without fear of repercussion, have been arrested, and not then say bots. There is no bot to a person who has killed 3 boys. Bots, terrorists. Why? That's a different conversation. But as I said, to each his own. If they think that the lives of these 3 boys take second place to the action of people, I don't understand why information, but it's strange to me.
Again, immediately we begin to make it a tribal issue. The control building here, the issue of insecurity, the issue of the fact that we have people who are now terrorizing Nigerians in different parts of the country. So, again, classic news, we situate it like that. But what we are saying again is that for people who say, there should be balancing, not because, and I think we discussed it. I think even yesterday I mentioned it.
That was show for 1 hour 30 minutes. Yeah. That's what he spoke about that meeting.
But no people, you see, because again, when that this criminal was arrested, somebody that murdered people, and that's not the first time. There have been several cases of him terrorizing the Southeast. Level of balancing across the country from our security operatives.
Indeed. Well, let's move on to other stories. NAMA pushes for tariff hike. Airline naira per flight imposed on airline operators is no longer sustainable given prevailing economic realities and the rising cost of maintaining aviation infrastructure. Umar explained that 11,000 to Abuja flight where airlines pay only 11,000 naira to NAMA regardless of the number of passengers. That is 2008 is what they will pay. Now, NAMA is saying you have adjusted your airfare based on inflation and all the things that are wrong with cost of providing service. You increase your airfare as often as possible, saying that they are not going to pay any more than what they've been paying, even if they've decided to keep increasing their own airfare. And NAMA thinks that's
so NAMA just thinks that because they've increased their airfare, they too have to increase their
well,
charge.
they're arguing for that they've provided more development, technologies. That's the
more, right? Nothing is coming down. So we're up. So we're in the era where everything is going up, even though the data is showing something completely different.
Yeah.
You understand from the more yesterday. A data that does not align with the reality of the people is a useless data. So I say it again with all my mouth. Of no reckoning. That's no use. No use. For people who don't know, in layman time, it is just that the rate at which things are going up has dropped. But things at level at which the things are going up and reduced. It's not as if the prices are still not going up and the thing goes back to where it's coming from. But in reality, things have not dropped. Women go to the market every day now. Say, one of the things that some of us dread the most now is for your wives to set you up to say, let me go to the market. See.
You go see you.
So, but you know, when you do what you need to do, no. That's what I have. You just cut everything and I've seen in the market. When it comes to the price of food particularly, look at the issue of rent, look at cost of transportation, and then somebody's
trying to push as much as they can. Let's see if they'll find a solution, maybe reach a consensus, reach a middle ground, a little bit of an increment in the fare that is being paid, that airline operators pay to NAMA. Let's see how this will in a room. They've not eaten in 2 weeks. You throw one slice at do you understand what people have been fed? And to be honest, that report is not well.
Their own inflation or my own inflation, or the people's inflation, begin to toy with the lives of the people. We are rebasing the lives of the people and they are suffering, right?
Fuad, that's it for the punch, really. Aside from the report where these are some of the things that will be offered to farmers and mechanizing farming in the words of Prince Wise.
I saw the report though. I saw mechanizing farming in the
mechanization.
I saw that report. I think the vice president was there. The minister of agriculture
was there.
See, this government is how many years now in power?
About 2, a little over 2.
Over 2 years now. So, and if you look at it very well, the way we operate our democracy, I'm sure you know that by the end of this, the elections would have been held by around February, March. So if you look at it, they don't have another 2 years. What they have now for real governance is less than 1 year. So if you look at the report and all was said at that event yesterday, how is it different farming, irrigation, access to credit scheme, blah, blah, blah? Any commitment to implementing anything to solve any problem. It will come like, you just continue to issue this statement to get people unnecessarily excited. Mechanized.
Word, I just think of Prince Wise immediately.
He cannot continue to deceive himself by calling every day to say, I tell the president mechanizing farming. When the people themselves are not even committed to anything.
I know you know that. You're just saying that.
You see, what I told, the money shows the day. And we say these things because, again, it's a pattern. It's just consistency. 1, 2, 3, 4 consistent pattern when it comes. You know, recently they were.
I mean, the people, that's like small scale family sized farming. According to her.
If you are a journalist, find out for me. Have yourself, manage your bills, don't do anything too extraordinary. Look, I've told a number of friends who called me, I'm looking for money to pay for school fees, things. You probably have to tell your wife or yourself to also help them with weekend classes. You just have to find a way to survive this time. Nobody's coming to save anybody. Forget all the sloganeering and all the rhetoric.
Reforms would improve food supply, food production.
When would the reform start to you?
Access to there's no projection.
2 years of the government.
I don't know.
There can't be any mechanizing farming with that sort of thing.
Why, please? Please, let's talk about Omoyele Sowore. I'm moving out to X, Meta, over anti-Tinubu posts. Now, for Facebook and Twitter from deleting his statement calling Tinubu a criminal, the actions were filed on his behalf by his counsel, Tokpe Temoko. We filed 2 fundamental right action at the Federal High Court against the State Security Service, Meta, and X, formerly Twitter. So for those who don't understand, this is a developing story, right? The DSS had earlier reached out to X and Meta, because I think he posted this on Facebook as well, to delete his comments. Now, Meta and X did not delete that comment, but they had written to him to tell him that a suit has been filed, and they sued saying that they should not be allowed to delete his comment, right, for freedom of speech, and is also counter-suing the DS.
Has also gone to court.
Yeah.
Like a counter-suit.
Yes.
Like, you sue me, I sue you. I mean, they sue me, sue them too. In fact, you don't have...
The thing is, X seldomly care much about...
But you know that it's also based on the issue of freedom of... a matter of public safety.
Yes.
Public decency. The issue of safety. It's about the thought and the right of the people to express themselves. So cyber bullying, cyber stalking, it's also ready for it. You understand? They did not arrest him. Did you know that was the police matter?
That one is...
You know.
Oh yeah. When he said somebody's tenor.
Even though there's even nothing like DSS.
It's the SSS.
It's the state security. It's SSS. I don't know how it all ends. Because again, this cyber crime act has become
27 presidential ticket open to all regions. The decision of the PDP to open is 2020. Fuad, please now. Are you going? Please. To all aspirants, while still retaining the principle of zoning to the south, has a list who stressed that unity among opposition party is vital to challenge the ruling All Progressive Congress and an equity on which the party was founded. So they had expected the PDP to, should I say zone, winning the principles of zoning to the south. I don't understand what you are doing to Daruma Miloju for. Maintaining the principle of zoning to the south. I don't understand. Sorry.
Are you surprised?
I don't even know. I cannot function at the moment. I don't know what you are doing.
You don't believe. I've told you long before you go. A long time ago, sorry. The APC will choose a candidate for that. You will see. I'm even thinking that the conversation should not be about microzoning. Hopefully, maybe to the southeast for a real issue of equity, fairness, and justice. Now they throw the thing open again. Why is he maintaining the principle of zoning? Are they okay? What kind of nonsense? What kind of... They don't confuse on this point.
Well, they're actually PDP Rivers is telling Fubara, they're warning him against defection, and they're also pushing to probe the...
Which PDP?
In Rivers
Where
State.
was the PDP? When the man was they talking about? Is it which PDP, Seyi Makine's PDP, or which PDP?
Oh, I don't know.
Look at the man. They've got the man to sign.
Don't lead Fubara astray. Please.
No, if you will get it, only for him by himself. Now they are warning him not to defect. On what basis? What right do they have to warn a man that is Kiloku?
Well, let's even see if he will be reinstated here first of all. I'm looking for...
So when Fubara goes back as governor now, PDP leaders will say they want to go and pay him solidarity visit. Still, solidarity visit.
Can I say you should use that to bang their head? Let's take one more story.
You will see that they will wait. You should not defect.
We have one more story here in the Vanguard newspaper. This one is not very fun. Pensioners of Nigeria have threatened a nationwide naked protest on October 6 if the government fails to implement pension increment and a palliative. Because of our time, I might not be able to read too deep into the report, but the headline sort of tells us what's going on here. They're threatening that they're
asking for increment in their pension.
Yeah. I think they were promised 25% increase, 25,000.
And pensioners, unless you have a pensioner that has a child or people, or maybe like an investment that takes care of them. If you are just one of those Nigerians who just work, how do you survive?
Well,
you will suffer.
Very, very unfortunate.
You don't understand.
I understand for mainland focus. Thank you for coming along with us. After the break, we'll be back and we'll take all your messages. The one